Hey guys, welcome back. And I've been meaning to make this video for like a week. And finally we are here. And I know this chart has a lot of lines, a lot of vertical lines, and it's a little bit busy and confusing, but just bear with me a second here. What I'm trying to do in this, what I've been trying to do in this chart is make sense of the 4-year cycle, which are usually triggered, or that's what we always said, that are triggered by the halving events, right? So the halving is the catalyst to start the bull market, and then by the time it gets to the next halving, it's going to be 4 years, so it would have gone through an entire cycle. Okay, so now let's try to pay attention only to the vertical red and black lines and ignore the rest. Okay, so black are the halvings and red are election day, the US election day. And what I've just discovered that I didn't know is that the very first Bitcoin halving in November 2012 coincide almost perfectly with the US election day. I never realized this. Because these two events happen every 4 years, they should be in sync. They should be happening always at the same time, every 4 years. They haven't happened exactly at the same time. You see there's a gap here between the halving and election, and then halving and election, and then halving and election. There's a little bit of a gap because the halvings have been happening 3 months faster than expected, according to Bitcoin theory. The halvings are not based in time, are based on the number of blocks. So every 210,000 blocks, there's going to be a halving. And because every block is supposed to be found every 10 minutes, then if you add it up, that should be pretty much exactly 4 years, every 4 years. But because Bitcoin blocks never come out every 10 minutes exactly, it's just an average, that's just the average. The halving doesn't have to happen exactly every 4 years. What I found interesting though is that every single time, every halving has actually happened faster, like shorter. It's been less than 4 years, never more. This is out of topic, I guess, that has nothing to do with price, but it's interesting that I would have thought that the math would even out over time, but after 16 years of Bitcoin, every time, every halving, it happened in a time shorter than 4 years, never longer. So the average doesn't seem to be balancing, evening out yet, as for now, which tells us the hash rate, there's consistently been more hash rate in the Bitcoin network than the difficulty algorithm can account for or can compensate for. So anyways, I thought that was interesting. But the main point here that I'm trying to make is that election day seems to be adding up to the bull market catalyst as well, because it's a very bullish event as well. And I know it's just the U.S. election; it's not a global event, but still, the U.S. dollar is still the global currency. And the entire world is always looking at what's going on in America, and usually everything follows that. So I think we can kind of call it a global event. And it doesn't really matter who wins. I mean, the winner is going to be, the winner is going to represent the majority of the collective, right? Because whatever the majority votes, that's going to be the winner. So it already represents the majority of the collective. So that's right there. It's bullish already, because the majority of the collective are going to be happy with the winner. And even the loser, even if your candidate didn't win, people usually accept it very quick and get on with it, because at least they know. So at least there's no more uncertainty. Uncertainty is what's really bad for the markets. Is usually uncertainty. Once you know what it is, and once you know how it's gonna be, then there's no more uncertainty. And even if your candidate didn't win, well, you accept it and you move on with it. So I think it's a very bullish, election day is a very, very bullish event for the market, which contributes to the bull market catalyst along with the halving. So anyways, here we just had the halving. The last halving was in April this year, and the election day was when, like 1 or 2 weeks ago, something like that. So it just happened. These are the monthly candles, so it just pretty much just happened. So if we go and see what happened here previously during halving, during the or right after the halving and election day, is exactly when the bull market goes crazy, crazy vertical. Here again, the halving, then election day, and boom, the bull market in full force. Then here again, halving and election day, bull market in full force, boom. And then this just happened here. So I think we are here right at the beginning of the parabolic move. The parabolic move just started. We just had the breakout from the previous all-time high here at around 70K. So I think this marks the beginning of the parabolic move. I don't have a price target yet. That's something that we're gonna have to be paying attention, day by day, and take it day by day and week by week. But we can actually estimate when it's going to happen based on time frames, because the 4-year cycles are always very, like, pretty exact. If you see, it's always really, it goes more with the halving than with the election day, so it's a little bit shorter than 4 years. But look, so from halving to halving, let's just pick one here in the middle. From halving to halving, 46 bars. Okay, now from top to top, 46 bars is usually pretty exact. So, and I did just take my word for it, or you can do the same chart that I have here. You can copy the lines, and you can see from top to top, it's never exact 46, but it's an average is going to be 46 bars, which is 46 months, because these are the monthly bars. So if we see from the previous top here, we go 46 bars. So this is when we should be topping from this current parabolic phase of the market. We should be topping in September 2025. And if we do the same for the bottom, we should be bottoming around September 2026, assuming that history continues to repeat, and history has been consistently accurate in terms of the 4-year cycle, slightly shorter than 4 years. So if it continues to repeat, we should be topping around September 2025 and bottoming September 2026. If we zoom in, let's go to my regular chart here, the daily candles. So we are at 100K. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this 100K psychological level. And let me tell you, I always believed for many years, like everyone else, I think, that 100K would be the mother of all resistances. I thought it would be the mother of all psychological levels, because it's the number that everyone's been screaming about. So I thought it would be super, super strong. However, since like 1 or 2 weeks ago, when I saw this on election day, blasted to 75.5, and then soon after we were at 80K, and then next day, in one day, from 80K to 90K, and then it didn't even bother to retrace any significant amount. It stayed consolidating at 90K, while the volume had been going up like crazy, increasing as the price goes up, and then consolidating at resistance 90K. This is an explosive setup, and this is just too close to 100K and too much momentum. Like at this point, with this momentum and being so close to 100K, we might as well blast through 100K like it's made of wet toilet paper. Like I don't think at this moment when I saw it, when I saw blasting from 70 to 80, from 80 to 90, and then consolidating at 90, this is too much momentum for 100K to be significant enough to make it crash. Now, I don't know the future. It can still crash it. It could. And I wouldn't be surprised that it actually retraces to 90K to test it as a support. That would be pretty normal that it goes down to 90K. But then I don't think it's going to crash it any farther than that. I think 90K is now solid support after all this consolidation here. And I think it's going to blast through 100K. And it's just going to continue to blast because I think we are in this phase, in this parabolic phase of the 4-year cycle. Now, I have no idea what the top is going to be. I don't have any targets. This is price discovery now. I don't really have any resistances what I can estimate that's going to be stopping or crashing or anything. So we're going to have to be paying attention to the technical signals and events that might happen in the real world. That's what I have. Now, guys, if you want to join the free Telegram groups, I do update here way more often than on YouTube, and I always want to make a video right away, but I have other things going on in my life, and usually something always gets in the middle, so I cannot do the video that fast, but I do. It's just so much easier to share a screenshot and some explanation in text, so I do update. I've been saying this about the 100K mark for some time. Now, listen up, guys, because this is where shit gets real. While we are all celebrating these gains and hoping for Lambos, one of the early adopters that helped us get here is fighting for his freedom. I'm talking about Roger Ver. In case someone doesn't know here, Roger Ver was literally giving away Bitcoin when no one knew Bitcoin existed. Literally, it was worth pennies. So he was not doing it for profit. He was doing it because he believed in what Bitcoin could do for humanity.
I mean, I grew up in the U.S. and I see all these people like, yeah, nuke everybody in the Middle East and kill them all. And then they have the former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright on 60 Minutes, one of the most popular news shows in the U.S. And they asked her, they said, like, there's reports that more than 500,000 Iraqi children have died as a direct result of U.S. sanctions. And she looks back at her with a straight face and she goes, it was a really tough decision, but I think that it was worth it. Worth murdering 500,000 kids because of what the government did? And I apologize for crying, but it just disgusts me from my core when I see government people murdering people around the world. It's not just theoretical, these are real people with real lives. And it's real people, and Bitcoin has the power to undermine everything they're doing to people around the world. And I'm sorry for shouting, but it just disgusts me what these people in government do. And they do it through central banking and through the control of the money supply, and Bitcoin takes that away from them.
Now Roger is facing up to 109 years in prison. Let that sink in for a second. Here's the fucked up part, right? Roger has been trying to communicate with the IRS for the last 7 years to figure out if he owed any taxes. Because remember, he was buying Bitcoin back in 2011 or 2012. Not even the IRS knew how to deal with it. Like, no one knew. There was no regulation. There was nothing. No one knew anything. So instead of the IRS working with him, they didn't even bother getting back to him or telling him how much he owed. Nothing. And now they've launched this full-scale attack. And we're talking raids on his lawyer's office, violating attorney-client privilege. Anyways, recently he was arrested in Spain, and he's awaiting extradition to the USA and facing up to 109 years in jail, all for trying to do the right thing when no one else was even thinking about taxes on crypto. This isn't just about Roger. This is about all of us. It's the same system that bailed out banks with our tax money. Remember, all of our tax money. Remember the Genesis block message? So while we are checking the charts and celebrating new all-time highs, remember that the people who made this possible are being systematically targeted. Today is Roger, tomorrow it could be any of us. The charts might be looking bullish, but freedom is looking bearish as fuck right now. So guys, let's change that trend and let's show them that the crypto community stands together. Remember that when they come for one of us, they come for all of us. Please go to freerogernow.org and sign the open letter. Please share with anyone. Make some noise if you can. You can find more information about Roger's case there. And literally, it takes less than 30 seconds to sign, and it doesn't cost any money. So let's make some noise and get Roger free.